Timothée Chalamet has become Hollywood's favorite golden boy, landing roles alongside Oscar-winning actors like Leonardo DiCaprio and Jennifer Lawrence in movies like Don't Look Up. He has portrayed iconic characters like Willy Wonka and taken part in Dune 2, which shattered the box office records with a staggering $630.3 million, which turned out to be the movie of the year and solidifying his status as the cinematic icon of all time, making it Timothée's role the most noteworthy one. Recently, he started dating one of the youngest, most well-known celebrities, Kylie Jenner, adding another layer of intrigue to his well-thought-out narrative. But rewind just a few years and Chalamet was barely a name in the credits, a face in the crowd. So how did he get to such an unprecedented heights, from barely recognizable background roles to being one of the most acclaimed actors in Hollywood? Once we dive into his story, you will see he had everything just set up to become Timothée Chalamet. Mark Chalamet was a journalist on a business trip from Paris to New York. There, he met Nicole Flender, a dancer living her dream performing on Broadway. The couple hit it off from there. They welcomed a daughter in 1992, whom they named Pauline Chalamet. 3 years later, their son, Timothée Hal Chalamet, was born. The movie industry runs primarily on Timothée's mother's side. His uncle, Rodman Flenders, is an actor, director, and producer who married a television writer, Amy Lippman. Timothée's grandfather, Harold Flender, was also a screenwriter. His sister would later follow the family passion and become an actress. With such a strong family background in entertainment, it's not surprised that Timothée gravitated towards acting himself. He took part in small commercials, but his passion as a kid was football. Not the American one, this one. He spent a lot of time in France, and as you know, they love it over there. It was only natural for the young Timothée to fall in love with the game too. Spending time in another country with a different culture not only affects your hobbies and passions, but also shapes one's identity. And Timothée was no exception. It led to an identity crisis of sorts. I think it really helped with my acting, spending 8 to 9 months in Manhattan and then for a few months, a year, to a small village in France. The passion for becoming an actor awoke once he watched the movie The Dark Knight by Christopher Nolan. He was very impressed with the performance of Heath Ledger as the Joker. I mean, wow, who wasn't? At this point, Timothée knew what he was aiming for. He wanted to become one of the greatest actors in Hollywood. To make his dream into a reality, he had to enroll in drama school, so he wanted to go to the best one, and that one was Fiorello H. LaGuardia High School of Music and Performing Arts in New York City. This is not an ordinary drama school, this is the drama school. Some people who went there might ring a bell are Nicki Minaj, Jennifer Aniston, and Al Pacino. You can imagine that a school with such a high success rate in producing exceptional stars can only accept the best, making it very difficult to get into. At this school, you are evaluated in 2 parts, academically and in the performance aspect. Timothée spent time playing around and playing football. However, the only thing he didn't play was attention to his grades, which the school wouldn't be very kind to. However, in the second part of Chalamet's application, the performance is what caught the attention of Henry Schiffman, one of the teachers. He saw Timothée's potential and couldn't let him slip away. And he wasn't wrong. Now, imagine he was sick that day. What would have happened? At the school, not only he developed his performing skills, but also dated Madonna's daughter, Lourdes Leon. This wouldn't be the last time we would see him dating a high-profile woman. While we couldn't find any drama surrounding his relationship, Timothée genuinely seems like a great guy. Here's what Lourdes Leon had to say about him. I respect him a lot. We were a little item. My first boyfriend. The first appearances were in 2 horror short films called Sweet Tooth and Clown. These 2 performances gave him a chance to appear in the TV show Law and Order. He was getting the small roles, one leading to another. He performed in anything he could get his hands on, showcasing his passion and demonstrating his ability to embody the character's audition for. Timothy's ambition was evident, even taking to the stage in a theater production, The Toast. But the role that truly got him noticed was Homeland, where he played the son of the president for a full season. This performance earned him a nomination in the Screen Actors Guild Awards for the Best Ensemble in a Drama Series. One challenge actors in Hollywood face is becoming so convincingly typecast that audiences struggle to separate the character from the performer. This can lead to subsequent roles being a variation of the character they played before. Take Christopher Mintz-Plasse, for example. You probably know him from Superbad, seeing him in roles like Role Models and Kick-Ass, and it's difficult to tell characters apart. This phenomenon happens across different genres. However, Timothy had a plan to avoid this Hollywood trap. The first character he played in a movie was Men, Women and Children, where he would work with big Hollywood stars such as Adam Sandler and Dean Norris. And it flopped. It didn't do well at the box office, but it was good to get him on the big screen. Moving forward, he couldn't believe it when he got to work with his favorite director, Christopher Nolan, on the movie Interstellar, starring Matthew McConaughey. In the movie, he played Cooper's son, the protagonist's son. His performance was well received. However, this was McConaughey's movie and time to shine. He was arguably at the peak of his career. There's a scene where McConaughey's character is watching tapes of his children, in which Timothy had a lot of scenes. However, Nolan decided to cut him out and focus on McConaughey's reaction instead. As I said, McConaughey was doing so well, they couldn't take the camera away from him. But there was something more interesting from working with the best. The experience of making Interstellar with Matthew McConaughey, which he did for a month and a half before term started. These are times that Timothy used to bound over 5:30 a.m. starts. He embodies the idea that your career is a marathon, not a sprint. He navigated long periods of demand for honest and truthful acting. Matthew McConaughey was the inspiration and point of turn in young Timothy, making him see that as an actor you are malleable and can adapt to different roles. Therefore, he decided to take on roles that challenge him personally and professionally, but still resonate with the audience. This led him to pursuing roles for characters that will not only fit him, but also some people might not expect him to go for. It looks like at the beginning he played the characters that were available to him, because at the start, you can't be picky. So we saw him in movies like 1 and 2, which is about two siblings who discover that they can teleport, but is the reason why the father decided to keep them away from society, and the plot goes from there. The movie was alright. It received a 5.2 in IMDb. He also did other films like True Deception, Christmas with the Coopers, and Miss Stevens. These movies are not bad. You will see him performing next to big names such as James Franco, Amber Heard, Steve Martin, and others. You got to see the potential of the ambitious Timothy. He auditioned for so many roles, some worth highlighting as Spider-Man and The Theory of Everything. Timothy was ambitious, but you know how it goes at the beginning. He was getting rejection after rejection. I have to tell myself, hey man, don't worry about the project you didn't get. You still need to pinch yourself. This is all great. The next movie, Call Me By Your Name, directed by Luca Guadagnino, is the one that will change everything. In this movie, Timothée Chalamet plays Elliot, a 17-year-old who falls in love with a 24-year-old employed ex-father. This was the perfect character for Timothy. He got to tap into his knowledge of speaking a different language and being in a different country during the summer. Critics praised his performance, and I quote, "This performance is so subtle and unfussy, so startlingly free of the kind of mannered, methody intensity that often doom the work of John Tibbs, that you don't see it coming straight for your gut." This movie put him on the lookout with actors and directors talking about the next big upcoming star.
Do people like Timothée Chalamet, and there aren't many people like Timothée Chalamet, let's be honest, he's kind of a unicorn in and of himself, but these young stars who seem to have a very, very bright future ahead of them, do they ask you for advice? Do you offer advice?
I mean, occasionally, honestly, I just feel like I'm training my replacements. I'm looking at them, I'm like, wow, you're young and super talented.
In 2014, he was nominated for an Academy Award, which is an incredible achievement for an actor, and even more for someone that has been in acting for only a few years in a few movies. He became the youngest Best Actor nominee at the Oscars since 1944. After this, Timothée was in the spotlight, and he didn't slow down. In 2017, his movie Hot Summer Nights wasn't very well received, but performance of Chalamet was very good, followed by Lady Bird, which was nominated for 5 Academy Awards. After auditioning for many roles, he managed to get a small role in the movie Hostiles, which he got to work with another of his dream actors, Kristen Bell. But from here, Timothée was done playing small roles. He only performed the roles that would make his career stand out. In 2018, he played the main character in the movie Beautiful Boy, which is about a boy that gets addicted to drugs and his father does everything to help him out. The movie was great, getting a 7.4 out of 10 on IMDb and 78% on Rotten Tomatoes. In 2019, Chalamet starred in A Rainy Day in New York, a romantic comedy written and directed by Woody Allen. After filming, the Harvey Weinstein scandal broke, and the media started talking about the director's abuse case with his adopted daughter. The cast of A Rainy Day in New York did not support this behavior. Chalamet and other people in the cast decided to donate their salary to several organizations that fight against sexual abuse. Timothée deeply regretted working with this director. Oh boy, the stuff that goes on in Hollywood. Apart from this, Timothée tries to live a life free of drama. He tries to give as little as possible to the media, even though we see him around different women. One of Chalamet's best-known romance was Lily Rose Depp, daughter of Johnny Depp. They met in 2018 while working on the film The King. This relationship ended in 2019. From there, Timothée was seen with Elitha Gonzalez in 2020, and some speculations with Taylor Russell and Nigerian model Sarah Tabali. From 2020, you start seeing Timothée on screen next to big names as he's become one of them. Little Woman, The King, and I can go on and on. These are movies that will get nominations on the Academy Award, but I think the ones that will make you say, oh yeah, I know the actor from, are Dune and Wonka. Most people will agree that he did a fantastic job portraying Paul. Wonka was a bit more controversial, with the director only considering Chalamet because of his dancing and singing skills. If you haven't seen it, it's a musical. It looks like he's on the way to become a legend in Hollywood. Now he's working on A Complete Unknown, a biographical movie where he will portray the famous singer Bob Dylan. Currently, his girlfriend is Kylie Jenner, who was seen together very intimate at a Beyoncé concert in 2023, and it looks like she is here to stay. With the Kardashians' track record, who knows? Maybe we'll get to see Timothée involved in some drama. What do you think? We will see him in the next season of The Kardashians? Comment below. Thank you for making it all the way here. I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you want to see more, subscribe, give like, share it. And if you didn't like it, share it with your enemies.